option. Let's feel the tailbone relax into the ground. Let's feel the spine grow tall, noticing the shoulders, the hips resting. Picking up our ribs as we inhale, shoulders, tailbone relax as we exhale. Let's flow in a few long, deep breaths. Just noticing a little bit of length, a little bit of release with each breath. And we're welcome to just continue the breathing we've created. We're welcome to relax an ear to the shoulder, allowing the side of the neck to open. Let's lift up tall and relax over towards the other side. And we'll lift up tall and slide the shoulder blades up and down. Maybe find a little flowing movement with the shoulders. As our shoulder blades find rest, we're feeling the palms open and flowing the fingertips up to the sky as we inhale, allowing the exhale to rest the thumbs down to the heart. We can inhale, lengthen up tall, and exhale, rest it down. Find one more breath, inhale, reaching, and exhale, resting. From here, interlacing our fingers, feeling our knuckles press out, our belly press in. And we'll find a little widening through the shoulder blades as we stretch and breathe. As we inhale, lengthening our spine, guiding the palms out ahead of our shoulders, rest. Letting the arms travel to one side as far as you feel like stretching. Take a couple breaths here. And then we'll travel the arms to the other side, just as far as we want to stretch here. As we're ready, we'll come to neutral, palms to the sky with a tall spine, or you can float the collarbone up towards the sky, maybe even lift the chin if that's available. Sending our fingertips behind us, or maybe the palms rest, maybe the collarbone presses up to the sky as the shoulder blades squeeze towards each other. We can just lift the chin if that feels comfortable, or you can lift the ribs, or maybe even pick up the tailbone if you want more openness in the front side body. And anywhere we're at, let's find our tall spine, reaching tall through the inhale, rotating either shoulders, ribs, or all the way towards the lower back, and let the hands rest where it's comfortable. We can relax where we've landed, or find a little bit more length as we inhale and twist just as far as our body feels stable, and breathe. As we return to neutral, sliding fingertips up to the sky. With our exhale, sliding from the shoulders, maybe adding the ribs, maybe the lower back as our arms rest where it feels comfortable. Feeling a few resting breaths. Let's feel neutral spine, stretching, the heart open. Exhaling, thumbs resting to the heart. Helping our bodies to all fours. Relaxing the wrist underneath the shoulders, resting the knees under the hips, lower belly. Helps our neutral spine. As we flow through cat-cow, allowing our heart to draw forward as far as we feel stable. Feeling our ribs guide up towards the sky as far as we feel stable. And we can continue to flow with our body's range of motion, our body's pace of movement, allowing any release through the spine our body's craving today. We'll stretch through our breath. We have an option to continue this flowing movement up and down. We're welcome to feel a neutral spine and start our folding side to side, shoulders and hips reaching towards each other on one side and then over towards the other side, finding a little folding side to side, stretch through the breath. And anytime we feel a little bit of evenness, we can have a few options. First option is just lengthen one leg and relax the knee, just a little stretch back and forth. Second option is to lift the knee and lower the knee, just a little bit of movement through the hip. Third option is to lift the thigh and press the heart forward and fold the thigh and the ribs toward each other, allowing our bodies to choose whatever option our body's feeling the best about at the moment. Continuing to breathe, just a few stretching breaths. Maybe stretching that back heel to straight toe on the ground or heel out from the hip. Keeping both palms under the shoulders as we feel stable spine. Our left fingertips have the option to reach forward or the left thumb up to the sky. stay in stillness. From either option, we can rest, fingers and toes to the ground to stay, or you can float a little up and down, lifting and releasing. So wherever our body feels like stretching, give a few reaching breaths. And allowing the palm to relax. Then a toe on the ground or heel up from the hip, we're going to start to roll. Feel the outer hip reach towards the side, outer hip reach towards the ground. So it may be just our heel reaches to the ground, heel reaches up to the sky, or you can have as much movement through the hip, through the heel, as it works the best at the moment. Take just a few more movements. And then we'll end up resting that knee. Knees can be together or wide as we find our body's child's pose. Feeling a moment of rest through the ribs, the shoulders, the head, the neck, enjoying stillness. Arms can stretch a little further to the top of the mat, stretching through the shoulders. Arms have the option to reach towards one side, reaching through that side body. If we enjoy the stretch on this side, we can stay or reach back to neutral and stretch towards the other side. Feeling just a few stretching breaths. So you feel a little evenness. We'll return to the center and relax. We can return to that all fours, feeling the stability, the wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and then as we trade, again, you can just lengthen out the left leg, bend the left knee. You can gently lift the left knee and relax the left knee. Or you can add the chest and thigh movement, opening out and folding in. So choosing whichever option works the best on our bodies at the moment. Just noticing where you feel the best stretch today. And as our leg finds neutral, may we extend through the heel again, toe can rest on the ground. The opposite arm, fingertips can reach forward or extend out from the shoulders. So we can stay lengthened out, we can stay rested down, or we can flow a little up and down, finding reach through the arm, through the leg, any range of motion, any pace of movement, wherever we're feeling our most stable. Stretch and breathe. And then we're resting the arm, and again you can have toe down or out as we feel that rotation through the hip, knee, and toe reaching to the side, or just rolling the heel to the ground with less movement in the head. So we'll get just a little stretch wherever our bodies are feeling the best release today. And again, resting the knees either together or wide, choosing any variation of child's pose, allowing the bodies to feel just a moment of relaxation, enjoying a moment of stillness in our child's pose. If we're feeling like a downward dog today, we can ground through the fingertips, through the toes, and send the tailbone up to the sky. Knees can be bent, legs can be straight. We can pedal out the feet if you're feeling that's a good option. Feel a little circulation flowing towards the heels as we breathe. And then sliding our feet up towards our hands. Fingertips can rest on the ground. Fingertips can rest on the thighs or the shins. Feel a little space where the head and neck can relax in stillness. Maybe the head and neck find a little flowing movement up and down. Maybe a little flowing movement side to side. Maybe a little up and down again. Let our spine lengthen halfway. Soften the knees or straight legs, whichever feels the most stable. As we ground through the heels, inhaling fingertips towards the sky and find a little lift through the breath. We can relax the shoulders and find stability here. Send one arm a little bit taller, maybe send the other arm a little bit taller, finding reach through our side body and breathe. We're going to have the option to just keep flowing the movement of the arms up and down. As we feel a little evenness, one hand can find the forearm, and we can feel a little bit more openness through our side ribs, depending on how much stretch we feel like today. And then as we find neutral, having the option to trade sides wherever we're feeling a good stretch. out to our side. As we exhale, you can bend the knees or just hinge from the hip to bring the chest towards parallel. It does not have to go parallel. You can just softly hinge forward a little bit or a little bit more, depending on where your body feels straight, lifting and resting through the breath. And we'll end up sending the tailbone back, resting our fingertips onto the thighs, shoulders relaxing. Feeling that deep breath, guiding the heart forward. Our exhale, rest the shoulders, fingertips to the ground. Let's send the right knee back behind us, left heel rests under the knee. Any variation of a lunge, so arms can be on either side of the front leg. Maybe it feels more stable to be on the inside. We can feel a little bit of movement as we feel comfortable drawing the hips and heart forward. And then as we exhale, relaxing the hips and thighs back, and you can walk your arms with your body. Maybe we're flowing with our inhales, drawing forward, and then our exhales, resting back. And our body's breath can guide our body's movements. You can choose stillness or flow anytime. Body's craving a little extra release. Always welcome to stay in a good stretch. And then we can stay in the lunge. We can stay in this half pyramid for just a moment, having the option to continue with a tall spine, top of the head, lengthening away from the tailbone. Feeling a moment of length or sinking the ribs towards the front thigh. Feel just a couple of deep breaths wherever we're feeling a good stretch. Then we'll begin to walk our fingertips towards the top of the mat and slide the front toes towards the back toes, finding in all fours or a child's pose. So if we're in all fours, we can flow through cat and cow or side to side. We can rest in child's pose. We can add that half series flowing to a kneeling plank to stay. If you're feeling like it, elbows can reach towards the ribs and hips can relax. Our inhale can flow the heart open to cobra, and then we exhale, resting into a child's pose or continuing that all fours, flowing the cat and the cow. Just take a couple more breaths in stillness or wherever you're feeling a good relief. And we're helping our right toes find their way forward, letting the heel rest under the knee. In our lunge of choice, arms can be on either side again or the inside, whichever feels more stable. Allowing the hips and the heart to stretch forward, allowing the hips and the thighs to release back. And our bodies get to choose any range of motion, any pace of movement, or we can always enjoy a place of stillness and allow the body to sink through each exhale, noticing rest into the breath. And we're welcome to keep the movement flowing. We're welcome to enjoy the place of stillness, continuing with more of a tall parallel spine, or if it feels better, we can sink the heart towards the thighs, letting the body's release wherever we're feeling good stretch just at the moment. And our inhales, draw the heart forward, and then we can exhale. Return to either all fours or a child's pose, finding just a couple of deep breaths of movement or stillness. So we're welcome to continue the child's pose, all fours. If you're feeling like a downward dog, we can stretch back into our downward dog option. Maybe flowing the right toes up to the sky if you feel like a three-legged dog. We can all help the right foot find its way forward into our lunge. As we're ready, opening our bodies to warrior two, the back heel grounds to the side of the mat, and the arms stretch towards our feet. Finding a place we feel stable and strong with the shoulders hanging out over the hips. The front outer hip is kicking in to be mindful of the knee reaching towards the heel. And then we can enjoy the stillness of warrior two, or add a little flow with the inhale, squeezing the inner thigh towards straight, fingertips towards the sky. The exhale, squeezing the outer hip, knee towards the heel, and relaxing the arms by our side. So we can move just the legs, or the legs and the arms. You can choose. Feeling a little stretch and release wherever our bodies feel a good stretch and rest through the exhales. And with our bodies reaching our arms out towards straight, you can keep the front knee bent or the front leg can be straight, whichever feels the most stable. And then we're going to feel a little side flow. So maybe the ribs and the shoulders stretch towards one leg. Maybe the ribs and the shoulders stretch towards the other leg. If we'd rather move with our hands at our hips, you can notice the pelvic bowl flowing side to side, helping maintain stability in the legs as we feel just a little bit of movement through the torso. So just get a few stretching breaths. And then again, with the front leg straight or the front knee bent, we're going to feel more of a tilting action with the arms reaching into a vertical position and then reaching back to the horizontal position. So you feel just that little reach side to side. We're going to have a couple options here. So as we feel stability, we can keep our arms out. You can rest the hands at the hips. We're going to heel toe the back foot in just a couple times, just creating a shorter warrior stance. And depending on how our body's feeling today, we can stay warrior two, arms straight. You can return to that folding action, lifting action. From the folding, lifting action, if you feel like it, you can start lifting the back heel or lifting the entire back foot. Depending on how much balancing we're feeling like today, it can get a little tricky. So movement of the back leg is optional. We can just keep flowing through the arms. Now, depending on how stable we're feeling and how close the front fingertips reach the floor, if you'd rather lift into a half moon and hang out, you can. Or you can keep just a little tilting action. So wherever your body feels like it. And then whenever we're ready, we're helping our fingertips to the ground, returning our bodies into a lunge of our choice. Back knee can be lifted or lowered. If we think a twisting action might feel comfortable, we'll pull the heart towards the front thigh, hand on the hip or hand to the sky. And then returning to either all fours, child's pose, or downward dog. So enjoying a place of stillness, or we can feel any flowing movement, cat and cow, or inhaling through plank or kneeling plank to stay, or adding the flow with the elbows folding to the ribs, the inhale lifting the front side body, and the exhale resting it back. So letting our bodies notice a few resting exhales, continuing to find rest wherever our body's feeling pretty strong. If we're feeling like that three-legged dog with the left leg, option to travel left toes to the sky. And then we can help the left foot feel its way into our lunge, helping our body open to warrior two with the back heel reaching sideways, kicking in this front outer hip, feeling stability of the knee over the heel, hands at the hips or arms to the side. And again, our legs can stay in the warrior two stance. If you feel like some movement, we can squeeze the inner thigh, guiding the leg towards straight, relaxing the knee. If you want to add the arm movements, we can sit fingertips to the sky, arms back to the side. So we have lots of choices, whatever the body's feeling like today. A little stretch through the breath. And then staying with the knee bent or the leg straight, we feel just a little tilting action side to side, like the shoulders and the ribs are traveling towards one leg, towards the other. You can feel that reaching movement as we feel stability in the legs and the ribs and shoulders stretching side to side. And then again with the front leg straight or the front knee bent, maybe feeling a little tilting action. Shoulders reaching towards the front leg. And again, you can keep the wide stance with that tilt. If you think you might want to add the balance, it's more helpful to bring the back heel into a shorter stance. You have a little bit more stable weight reaching towards the front leg. And again, that back heel might just float up off the ground. The whole foot does not have to come up off the ground. As we're feeling steady in the front leg, if your body feels like reaching further towards the floor, you can always hang out in this half moon, or you can keep the movement flowing back and forth, finding any movement pattern everybody's feeling about, or you can have stillness anywhere along the way as well. And then whenever we're ready, we'll find our way into the lunge of our choice. That knee can be lifted or lowered, staying in the lunge, or maybe twisting the heart or the shoulders or ribs towards the front thigh, and then returning, maybe downward dog, maybe child's pose, maybe all fours, allowing a moment of relaxation and rest, wherever our bodies feel like it's stretched. Today, we can stay, we can flow anywhere your body feels like. Maybe on fours, cat-cow, maybe plank or kneeling plank to stay, maybe folding with control and inhaling, expanding the front side body, and exhaling it back. Take a couple deep breaths wherever our bodies are feeling like hanging out in at the moment. Then we'll send our bodies to our forward fold. Again, that might be fingertips on the ground, fingertips to the shins or the thighs. Maybe finding a space that our head and neck can rest a bit with gravity. Enjoying stillness or a little flowing movement with our head and neck up and down. Maybe a little release, side to side, maybe a little up and down again. Feel the tailbone pressing back and the top of the head. Create a diagonal line in the spine, shoulders resting. Palms relaxing at the thighs, or pressing together at the heart, or extending over the head. Anywhere we're feeling pretty stable in our chair. The weight is in the heels. We can flow the toes if we'd like. Keeping inner thigh, outer hip connection, stabilizing our pelvis as we breathe. Our next inhale, we'll send the heart towards the sky, relax the arms, and maybe add a little sway. Arms can sway, or arms and shoulders, or arms, shoulders, and ribs can sway. You can choose how much movement as we flow side to side. As we find a place of stillness, focusing on a little bit different balancing, letting one foot feel the ground, the other thigh can be forward, or maybe the outer hip opens. Let's feel inner thigh connection, lower belly connection, grounding palms at the heart. So we can continue here. As we find stability in the standing leg, we can hang out on the toes or float the toe or feel the foot at the calf or help the foot into the inner thigh, avoiding pressure on the sides of the joints. Palms maintain their grounding in the center, or we can rest, or we can stretch out, or back towards the sky. Anywhere along the way, our bodies feel stable. Let's continue to relax through our breath. A few resting exhales here. Joints. Let's trade legs. Send the other foot towards the ground. The other thigh can be forward, or the outer hip can open. Reach in, lifting up. Feeling grounding in our palms. Choosing our focal point. Toes staying on the ground or floating. Maybe the foot chooses the calf or the inner thigh for stability. Try not to pressure or rise the joints. Palms at the heart, or maybe relaxing the shoulders. We can open to the side or towards the sky. continuing to breathe where we're feeling stable today, resting through the breath. Rest, relax our joints just a bit. And then from here, we're going to move into our warrior three of joints. So the other foot can be forward, the other foot back. Maybe hands rest at our hips or at the heart. We can choose out to the side or over the head. Feeling that openness through the heart. And maybe hinging forward to maybe the back toe floats, or we can extend through the back of the heel, the back of the head. Option to continue the diagonal or hinging towards the parallel, feeling that stability through the lower back, the lower belly, helping our bodies wherever. Feeling our best stretch at the moment. Take just a few breaths here. Joints just a moment and shake stuff out if you like. We can trade legs, the other foot reaching forward, the other toes traveling back. Same arm options available. You can choose a different one this time if you like. Anywhere we feel pretty stable. Maybe the collarbone opens and we hinge, find a diagonal with back toe touching, or floating or extending the back of the heel, the back of the head. We can keep reaching towards our parallel position if you would like. Keeping the lower belly, lower back engaged, supporting our spine, helping the body breathe. Just a couple of breaths here. Finding lift when we're ready. Maybe we're whittling out the joints. You can shake them out. Helping our ribs reach up towards the top of the sky. Exhaling as we swan dive down, maybe deep into the knees. Fingertips can tap the ground, returning to all fours, or a downward dog. Feeling just a moment to maybe stretch out one leg at a time towards straight, one knee at a time, relaxing. Then helping our bodies to pigeon. If you would like to send the right leg out first, we can. Helping the right knee travel towards the right wrist. The back knee can relax and we can just stretch the heart forward here. You can relax the tailbone closer to the ground by tucking into the back toe until the body feels a stable release. Palms can stay propping us up. We can walk the hands in and maybe find a little deeper openness in our hip flexors if that feels like a good option. Or you can send the heart towards the ground, wherever the body's allowing us to feel its best release in the pigeon of choice that works today. And we'll get a few relaxing exhales. Maybe even traveling our breaths into any areas that may be feeling any extra sensations at the moment. And noticing each inhale pulling those extra sensations out of the body. And each exhale pressing them in towards the ground. Finding just a moment of relaxation and rest through our breath. The next time we inhale, we're welcome to return the ribs open as far as our body feels the best stretch here. Helping our bodies return the front leg where it came from. So maybe ground the palms and the back toe, traveling the front knee to all fours, child's pose, downward dog, or three-legged dog, our body's choice. Anytime we're ready to trade sides, if we'd like to lift the left leg out, we can, or just helping The left knee travel towards the left wrist. The back knee can rest where we've landed. We can guide the tailbone towards the ground, finding the stretch our hips agree with the most. We can stay in this stance with our heart, or maybe lift the ribs and heart further open, or rest the ribs and heart closer towards the ground. Again, noticing the breath traveling through the body, finding that rest, peace as we breathe, finding those few relaxing breaths. We find a little evenness. Let's lengthen our spine as tall as our lungs would like to expand. Feeling the stability of our palms and the back toe, helping return the front knee either to child's pose, all fours, downward dog, or three-legged dog. We'll end up in a bent knee position in our all fours with wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're finding the side plank of our choice. So maybe it's right toes out to the side, left leg extended, left hand to the hip or towards the sky. Having the option to travel the left foot in front of the right knee. The right leg can extend, the left leg can extend, you can stack. We'll feel the ribs lifting from any side plank option our bodies have created, and feel just a few resting breaths. As we return our bodies to all fours, option to have a little flowing side to side, relaxing the ribs as our shoulders draw towards the hips. And then we get to choose the side plank on the other side, letting the left toe and knee find the kickstand, right leg can extend, right hand can rest at the hip or towards the sky. Continuing here, right foot can come in front of left knee, left foot can extend, right leg can extend staggered or stacked, helping the side body stretch up as far as we feel stable, and breathe. Turning to our all fours position, returning to the side movement. Breathe. All right, so from here, we're going to let the knees travel towards the left side of the mat, and then the hips travel towards the right side of the mat, and the left fingertips travel up to the sky. Now from here, we can stay on the palm, or you can slide down onto the elbow, or you can even let the whole side body rest on the ground. So I gave you a few options. This is the first option. You can keep knees bent and reach the top arm behind to open the chest and lift. Just a little reach side to side. So we can continue here. You can lengthen out the legs. It will be a little bit more unstable. You can come onto your belly if that's available and feel maybe the arms and legs of both sides lifting up and down off the ground. So we can choose the side movement or the flowing movement. If we're on one side, do a couple more movements on that side. And then we have the option to travel to the other side, gently relaxing from one side onto our spine, and then pulling the hips over and relaxing onto our hand, elbow, or wrist, and the top arm again can reach back and up. You can stay on your belly, or you can reach your arms to the side or behind you in that stretch. If you're on your belly, so you have the option to trade your arm movements. You're on the belly. Anytime you feel like you've evened out both sides, we'll find ourselves into our body's resting position. So maybe it's all fours, maybe it's child's pose with knees together or knees wide. And we'll feel just a few resting breaths, whatever the bodies give us to relax today. And breathe. And anytime we're ready, let's send our tailbone to the ground and let our legs reach out ahead of us. So we'll feel the spine grow tall, the shoulders relax, and maybe flow the shoulders up and down a few times. With our shoulders relaxing, we can take one thigh out and slide the foot inside the leg wherever the hip and knee feel the most stable. Tiny lift of our lungs open to stay, or exhaling towards a diagonal to stay, or finding as much hinging through our hips as our bodies feel the best about at the moment. Can it feel more of a rounded spine or more of an elongated spine, or you can think about flowing the heart forward as we inhale and the ribs towards the thighs as we exhale. Our bodies get to choose just a few relaxing breaths. And with our next inhale, send our spine tall and our shoulders release, allowing the arm of the bent knee to stabilize behind us. The arm of the straight leg can stretch up to the sky or over the head, having the option to plant into the back palm and the bent knee and lift the tailbone up towards the sky. We'll feel just a couple of breaths wherever we're at. If we've lifted the hips, we're relaxing the hips, and then we're trading our legs, allowing our bent knee to stretch towards straight, feeling that openness as we slide the straight leg into the body, creating our tall spine to stay. We can again exhale, maybe hinging to a diagonal to stay. We can continue to hinge as far as our bodies feel that release. We can add that little flow of the collarbone, opening the heart on the inhale, resting the ribs on the exhale, allowing our bodies to choose the stretch that works the best at the moment. Let's get a few relaxing exhales. With the heart growing tall, our shoulders rest. The bent knee hand finds stability behind us. The straight leg hand stretches either tall or allows the lungs to lift to the sky. Continuing here or waiting, the back hand and the bent knee, and having the option to float the hips up off the ground and stretch the side body open. Just a couple breaths wherever we're at. When our body's ready to settle, we'll let both legs stretch out ahead of us and rest our tailbone just a bit side to side. Take a moment to breathe. So maybe we get the thighs to open, the soles of the feet can come together with more of a wide spacing between the legs. Maybe we are sliding heels in line with the knees, or you can even find more intensity with the heels coming in towards the hips. Keeping the spine tall, or maybe a little rocking movement, rolling through our hips, through the lower back, a little reach side to side. And then maybe we keep this rocking movement, or we fly our butterfly wings a few times. You can choose. We're feeling good release. And then having the option to open the heart to the sky, to stay. Maybe hinging into the diagonal to stay. Maybe continuing to hinge the heart towards the toes, allowing rest and release through the spine, or you can continue the inhale, opening the heart, exhaling ribs towards the ground. So we get to choose what our body's enjoying at the moment. Feel just a couple more resting breaths. Anytime we're ready, finding that tall spine, sending our fingertips or the palms behind us. Shoulder blades can squeeze together, opening the heart a little bit or a lot, or tailbone up off the ground. And breathe. As we feel the tailbone rest and the spine tall, traveling our knees towards each other. From here, I feel the spine grow tall, shoulders relax, and we can release onto our spine or onto our side. You can choose. Hands holding on or reaching out. As we find that controlled release on our spine or on our side, we'll take just a moment to breathe, hands by the side or over the head or wherever we feel supported with a few resting breaths. If we're feeling like a bridge pose today, we can send the heels underneath the knees and the fingertips towards the heels, allowing the shoulder blades maybe to wiggle in a little closer. The forearms and the feet can feel the ground, and our thighs and hips can lift up towards the sky, wherever we feel as much opening through the front side body as feels stable, and rest into our breath. Maybe just 3 exhales, or you're welcome to lower down at any time that the spine no longer wants to stay lifted. And I'll feel just a few resting breaths. And with our spine resting to the ground, we can all relax on one side of the body, whichever side you want to start on. Letting our head relax and our hands and our body find a little side line action. Now from here we have a few options. First option is to travel the arm. So maybe the top arm reaches to our side, up towards the sky, maybe even reaches behind us. And then back up and over. Or you can feel a little like a half circle, the arm stretching over the head towards the back and then reaching back to our side. Now, depending on where we're at or what we're choosing, you can even feel a little bit more movement through the rib cage, traveling back behind us to stay. Or you can keep the movement flowing onto our side and then reaching towards our spine. So we get to choose how much twisting action our body feels like. And if you'd rather stay with your back shoulders towards the ground instead of flowing back and forth, that's available. Let's take 3 more breaths wherever your body's feeling like stretching. Get a few resting exhales. Our shoulders are resting on the ground. We're going to return on to our side just for a couple of breaths. And then anytime we're ready, we're going to roll onto our spine and then back over to the other side, resting our head in our hands or the upper arm, and feel the side lying position that feels best. And again, you have the option to stay here. You can take the top arm out ahead of you, keep it there, or reach it to the sky, or reach it behind, and just feel that shoulder movement flowing. And add a little bit more through the ribs, through the lower back. Or if you like that movement with a little semicircle action, you can slide the arm over the head, reaching it back a little bit, and then back to our side. So you kind of get to choose any releasing action our spine is enjoying, continuing with movements, or maybe we found a place of stillness that our bodies agree with at the moment. Resting through each exhale, that stillness or movement, and feeling just a few traveling breaths to relax through the body as we breathe. Just a few resting breaths. If our shoulders are resting on the ground, we're returning to our side lying position. And we're going to have just a few options here. We can first of all stay on our side. Second, we can use this top hand as a grounding mechanism. And then maybe the top outer hip lifts up and the outer thigh folds in. Make a little lift and release. If you'd rather, you can rest on your spine and move from butterfly out to knees up to the sky, and you'll have a very similar action, just won't be on your side to do it. But if you're on your side, lifting one leg at a time, we'll have the option to move to the other side in just a moment, or you can stay on your spine, moving both together. If we're on one side, we have the option to roll to our spine, then to the other side, and then maybe lift that out of the hip, lower it back down, just a little stretch through the thigh and the hip. If you're on your spine and you want a bigger movement in the legs, you can let the feet go wide and try some windshield wiper movements and breathe. We'll take just a moment to let the body choose any releasing movements that our body is craving extra relaxation in. Maybe more movements for our thighs, our hips, the spine. Get to choose anything that feels best on the body at the moment. And then whenever we're ready, our body gets to choose a space for comfort, for relaxation. So maybe we're resting on our side. Maybe our spine is on the ground with the feet wide and the knees resting together. Maybe we're continuing to relax in that butterfly with our feet together, our knees wide. Maybe we choose a traditional shavasana with our legs extended, our feet opening, our palms opening, our shoulders resting. Wherever we're at, we can continue with a relaxing breath. Maybe traveling the breath from the nose to the base of the belly. Resting the breath out of the base of the belly, back out of the nose. If we need a little bit more energizing breath today, we can breathe in through the right nostril with each inhale and exhale out the left nostril. If we need a more calming breath today, we can breathe in through the left nostril and out through the right. If we need a more balanced breath, you can think about breathing in through one side, exhaling out the other side, and then inhaling through the side we just exhaled out of, and back through the other side, just alternating side to side. So we get to choose our breathing pattern, our place of energetic lift, our place of calming release, our place of relaxation and peace, or balance and rest. Noticing what our bodies tends to be craving the most at this moment in time. Sometimes fatigue can settle into our bodies and we need a little extra help finding that uplifting, energetic field of relaxation, traveling in with our breath and with our body's movements. Out with each exhale, out with each relaxing stretch. Allow just a moment of settling and peace with each breath. We'll continue to relax the breath that we have chosen. Continuing the breathing pattern we've created, and begin traveling the breath through our fingers and our toes, noticing relaxation through the breath as we rest through arms and legs as we feel peace in the lower legs, the lower arms. Feeling release through our knees, our elbows. Feeling rest through our thighs, our hips. Relaxation through the upper arms, the shoulders. Guiding the breath through the spine, feeling release through our tailbone, relaxing the lower back, the ribs, resting through the shoulders, neck, the back of the head. Welcome to finding a moment of peace and rest, whatever that means for our body at the moment. If you'd like to stay on the spine and move however you feel comfortable, or relax onto the side at any time we're ready. As we feel rest on our side, we have some options to flow in. Some peaceful, calming breaths through one side, allowing anything we just don't need today to release out through the other side, down and towards the ground. Allowing that peace to settle into our bodies and continue with us for the rest of our day. Anytime we're ready, helping our bodies into a comfortable seated option. Choosing what might feel most stable on our legs, resting our tailbone, creating our tall spine as we rest our shoulders. Option to add a little movement through the neck with the chin drawing towards one shoulder, gazing behind us. And then maybe stretching towards the other side. As we feel neutral, allowing our shoulder blades to rest, our palms to open, inhaling fingertips towards the sky, joining the palms, exhaling thumbs towards the heart. Inhaling, breathe.